Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans in 1977. It's Friday night, and you know what that means. It's time for the SmackDown Event Center Wrestling Report. And now, here's your host of the Event Center Wrestling Reports of SmackDown, now a 3-hour show on the USA Network, Mr. Eric M. Lima.
Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. And this is episode 1980. Yes, we're in the 1980s. Yay! How's it going, everybody? We just finished up doing Chillin' with Jordy. I'll give my good friend Jordy Scala a follow. Subscribe on YouTube. He's a really fun guy to be around. Always like tracking shows and having fun. He does his gameplays. And show him your love and support. And that's all I ask. Also, want to welcome a new subscriber, Zach Minger. And Zach Minger, if you're watching, my man, thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in and to the show. And hope you like my content. If you have any questions, feel free to ask on the either on the community page if you want. I don't know if you're supposed to post something on my community page, but or you can comment on one of my videos here on YouTube, and I'll be more than happy to try to answer the questions the best I can. And welcome, and thank you for your subscription, and I really appreciate that wholeheartedly. So, let's get going. This is the final SmackDown before Saturday night's main event, and what a card Saturday night's main event it is. We know the Women's World title will be on the line. Rhea Ripley defending against Nia Jax. That's going to be a heck of a matchup. But I'm looking forward to the Braun Strowman versus Jacob Fatu matchup. If I was the general manager of that matchup, I would have said said no disqualification, no count out, last man standing, street fight, anything. And if I were the referee whoever's the referee in that match, wear riot gear. You're probably going to need it. So I've been in a good mood all day. I've been doing a lot of rearranging of things, and I can't wait to show you guys what this means, man. It's totally radical the way things are changing. I'm trying to get everything to change up, man. So, anyways. As you know, also, tomorrow will be my first scheduled Saturday off. As you know, the last time I requested a Saturday off was when I went to the memorial service of Reverend Beverly Resendiz, the matriarch of the church I attended, back in November. I've been at the church since the very beginning, so. But this is my first scheduled Saturday off from work, and as you know, because we've been losing hours and whatnot and everything else in between. So, but I am pleased as punch to have my, I'm really excited about having my first Saturday off, so I get to do videos like this, and hopefully, catch up on a lot of things. And I just personally cannot wait. I'm just really excited about it. I showed my mother the new setup I have, because my gaming screen is now to my right, and that means you see me actually play instead of see me in a side profile and reacting. So all I can do is set up the camera. I got my tripod and everything ready, and it's, so I have no more use for the TV tray. It is downstairs in my old room. Now it's basically a storage thing, so I'm just really excited. So, excuse me, man. What a day, what a night, what a week this was. Survived, and I'm very happy. So let's get right to SmackDown, shall we? Joe Tessitore, as you know, him and Wade Barrett are doing SmackDown on the USA Network, interviewing Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes was addressing Kevin Owens, and Pretty Deadly was talking to DIY. Said, "Hey, when can we get our tag team title shot?" DIY says, "You better get it done in the middle of the ring." And then Legado del Fantasma confronts Pretty Deadly, and so We got celebrities in attendance, celebrities and wrestling legends in attendance on SmackDown. It took place in Austin, Texas. And, all right, Mr. Matthew McConaughey, he is in attendance. Motor City Machine Guns went up against Pretty Deadly. Motor City Machine Guns, well, they won their matchup. And then The Miz was talking to Nick Aldis and said, hey, you want me to talk to Kevin Owens and all that? Oh, you're here on SmackDown. And he says, yeah, the Wyatt Six are on SmackDown too. And we're going to see more of The Miz. And then meanwhile, Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett were talking about the goings-on at SmackDown, and Kevin Owens interrupts them. And so, how come you don't talk to me? You talk to Cody Rhodes and all that. And then he's jaw-jacking with Matthew McConaughey. And then, you get an Oscar winner to come at you. You come at an Oscar winner. What's wrong with you, Kevin Owens? And then Jimmy Uso interrupts Kevin Owens, and looks like they're going to have a match one-on-one. Meanwhile, Carmelo Hayes talks to Aldis and says, hey, I want a match against Jimmy Uso. He goes, Jimmy Uso against Kevin Owens? What about me? And he goes, you know what? I got you for someone else, a new acquisition. He said, you know what? I want to know. I want to meet him. And Nick Aldis goes, fine, he's on his way. Women's tag team action, B-Fat and Michin going up against the Women's United States champ Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. And Michin and B-Fab ended up winning the matchup. And all this, Hayes wait for the new acquisition, and it was none other than Damian Priest. He is going to be facing Damian Priest from New York, Carmelo Hayes from Boston, Boston versus New York. The rivalry continues even in the WWE. Charlotte Flair has made another promo about who the GOAT is and all that. And guess what? She has made her declaration. She's going to be entering the Women's Royal Rumble matchup. That's right. That's she's making her return to the ring, entering the Women's Royal Rumble. It's going to get very interesting, to say the least. Tiffany Stratton addresses the Austin crowd about being the women's champ in the Royal Rumble. Rhea Ripley comes out. Hey, I'm a champion too. And then Nia Jax and Candice LeRae come out and interrupt Ripley and Stratton. Nia Jax says she's going to enter the Royal Rumble and win it. And then Bianca Belair and Naomi, the women's tag team champions, interrupts those ladies and say, hey, we're going to enter the Royal Rumble. And then Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez comes out and said, hey, we're going to enter the Royal Rumble and win it. All 8 women decided to brawl. Nick Aldis comes out and makes an announcement during the commercial break that a 6-woman tag team match will happen. Tiffany Stratton heads to the back as Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi went up against Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, and Liv Morgan. Raquel Rodriguez gets involved during the matchup, and then that helped Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, and Candice LeRae win the match. And then Chelsea Green was complaining to Piper Niven about what happened to her in that matchup. Michin and B-Fab interrupts them, and Michin informs Chelsea Green that she'll have one more crack at the Women's United States title next week on SmackDown. And then Chelsea Green says, well, we need a bigger Secret Service. Who is she going to call on now to help her out? We'll find out. Meanwhile, Apollo Crews went one-on-one with Johnny Gargano. Tommaso Ciampa tried to got involved in the matchup, but then the Motor City Machine Guns saw that and confronted DIY, distracting Gargano, and Apollo Crews did pick up the victory over Mr. Johnny Wrestling himself. Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu addressing their opponents. Tama Tonga addressing LA Knight tonight, Jacob Fatu tomorrow night, Braun Strowman. And comedians are in attendance, as you 2 unknown ones, Tony Hinchcliffe and Shane Gillis, excuse me. But the very popular one, Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias, in attendance. Boy, the stars are coming out tonight. As LA Knight took on Tama Tonga, the island version of Beavis, as I like to call him. The Tongan version of Beavis. And Knight picked up the victory. Knight addresses Tama Tonga, who calls it Tommy Tonga. It was Tommy. That takes me back there, LA Knight. And Fatu before the matchup. And then Fatu attacks Knight, I should say. Fatu attacks LA Knight after the matchup. But then Braun Strowman confronts Fatu. Tama Tonga tries to attack him, but at first Fatu wanted to go after him, but Tama Tonga tries to restrain him, but Jacob Fatu says no. He jumps in the ring, and as about to go at it, Tama Tonga tries to attack Strowman. Strowman punches him, but he saw Fatu coming, and then he got clotheslined out of the ring. And that time, Tama Tonga decided to restrain Fatu. Like I said, that matchup is one I want to see. Those two guys, big meaty men slapping meat. I'll tell you what right now. Here's the deal. If whoever's the referee in that matchup, we better wear freaking riot gear, and I do mean that. You know, and Miz was talking to A-Town Down Under. I think he's been looking for an alliance of some sorts, because he may have to fight this battle against the Wyatt Six on his own now that they're on SmackDown. Who knows for sure what's going to happen. And then A-Town talking to A-Town Down Under, he was giving them props, and they were really excited until Aldous says, hey, got some news for you. Pack your bags, you're going to Raw. And they were really excited, leaving The Miz high and dry. So, I thought that was funny. Shinsuke Nakamura, the U.S. champion, has decided to declare entry into the Royal Rumble. He's won this match before, back in 2018. Will he do it again? So, we'll find out what's going to happen. Damian Priest versus Carmelo Hayes. Boston versus New York. Carmelo Hayes from Boston. Priest from New York. Priest wins the matchup. And then DIY was upset with Nick Aldis, and then Morrissey Machine Guns interrupts DIY. Nick Aldis makes the match Royal Rumble, the rematch, but 2 out of 3 falls. So that's going to be a good matchup. Then the Miz is talking to Andrade, and Andrade says, I'll get somebody for you. And then Jimmy Uso does the yeet thing with the Miz, and he says, I'll find somebody for you. And then, before all that, Cody Rhodes greets Damian Priest and welcomed him to SmackDown, shook his hand, and then Damian Priest smiles and shook hands with the champ. And he had a smile on his face afterwards. And then as Jimmy Uso is heading to the ring, Carmelo Hayes talks to him. But then as Jimmy Uso was entering the ring, Carmelo Hayes tries to get at him, but security and officials were holding him back. And Jey Uso's like, no. And then Jimmy Uso went one-on-one with Kevin Owens, and Owens ended up winning the match with the pop-up powerbomb. And Jimmy. By the way, during Damian Priest's match against Carmelo Hayes, he high-fived Matthew McConaughey, which I think that would be really cool. Imagine you're in a matchup. That's your first SmackDown matchup. You high-five Matthew McConaughey and beat Carmelo Hayes. There you go. Anyways, so, yeah, Kevin Owens was talking smack with Matthew McConaughey. He says, you're never going to hold this. And he's about to attack Jimmy Uso after the matchup. But then Cody Rhodes comes out and fights with KO tomorrow night. Contract signing between the two of them for the Royal Rumble, with Shawn Michaels moderating it. Well, that is it. That's all the time we have on this episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode 1980. Now we are 20 episodes away from the epic 2,000 episodes. Thank you for tuning into the show, and hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode. This is your announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E, doing for Bob Saget Productions, and in association with a Raven Bofa Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching today's episode. Tune in next time for another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. Goodbye for now.